Well, I want to inject some nuance into this conversation about like, okay, so there's a guru model at one end where the guru sits on high and pronounces truth with a capital T, and we must take it as written and literally so, and then pass it on verbatim to the next generation or to the client or whatever. And all right, and so I think we're all in agreement that there's some problems with that, some serious flaws with that model. And at the other end, this kind of nihilistic, like, well, no one knows nothing and there are no rules and you can do whatever you want.
And therefore it's not Pilates.
Yeah. So, I think we probably all agree that that's not the optimal situation either, and that there's some kind of midpoint where, like, I mean, I have people in my life that that I trust, right, as sources of information. And if so-and-so said something, by default, I would believe it, right? Because in the past, my experience has been that this person produces reliable information on this topic, and I'm sure that we all have those people that we trust on certain topics.
Jenna,
right? But I think for me, the line is between having someone be like a trusted authority on a topic. For example, so I've got people that I trust about business or science or biomechanics or whatever. I trust them on that topic. So the difference in my mind between someone who's a trusted authority and someone then crossing over into being a guru is, like, with a guru, there's some kind of element of sanctity. That it's almost like taboo to question the wisdom with a capital W of the guru. Whereas, my biomechanics lecturer, who I respect greatly, if I said, well, hold on, what you said there just doesn't make sense to me, that would be totally fine.
That's it.
Totally fine.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree completely. And I thought you were going to go a different direction with that comment, but I think that what we're talking about ultimately is responsibility. So the guru model puts the responsibility or the focus on maintaining the hierarchy within the organization for, any number of purposes, right? But the education model puts the focus on the ability to have an open forum and to ask and answer questions, no matter what the experience level is.
We're both
so when a
searching for
teacher
truth
is empowering, when the teacher is empowering their student to ask them something and also can stand in a space and be responsible for what they don't know as well, to say, I don't know that, and open that as a channel, because if we're moving anywhere with this work, it's got to be in the vein of curiosity and exploration. And I'm not even talking about changing choreography. I could care less about that conversation. And I change a lot. I choreograph a lot. But it's a matter of really understanding that when we ask questions, we gain insight, we broaden perspective, and that perspective often creates space for others to come into the mix and have an experience with us or for themselves. And when we don't allow questions, or we create an ecosystem, an environment that shuns or shames questions, it's that most of what we've been talking about, I hear Brene Brown's voice in the back of my head, but it's that daring leadership versus armored leadership. The armored leadership says, nope, don't rock the boat. This is how we do it here. We don't have room for that. We don't know how to handle that. It's different, and we've always done it this way. And the daring leadership says, let's explore it. Let's have a dialogue. Let's put it on the table and look at it from a lot of different angles so we can see if it fits in with the ecosystem of what we're trying to create here. And so I don't come from a place where we're going to have businesses built on kumbaya, everybody's welcome, and, let's just have a utopian society. There's way too much humanity and human feelings and experiences to suggest that could happen. But where I think we fall short in our arena of Pilates is having open dialogues with many voices. We like to pick out a few. I've certainly been one of them, and listen to those people and let them be the authority. part of that, I think, is because people like to just sit back and listen, and they don't necessarily, they're not always up for the challenge of figuring out what they have to say. And that's a natural occurring situation. But part of it is because we are used to seeing a panel of superstars. And I think that we really rob ourselves the ability to broaden the conversation of where this work can go and who it can help when we only recognize a few people as having the right to speak. And even in the major steps that have happened in the Pilates industry, especially in the US over the year, what I see is a lot of that same conversation where, we are now in love with a whole new panel of people who are wonderful people. But we're doing the same thing where we create stardom and fame, and we do it because it feels good and comforting to have someone we turn to that has answers. But if that person doesn't also challenge us to ask questions and isn't asking the questions of themselves, then we're just recycling the old pattern with new faces on the panel.